Yo, what's good, YouTube? This is Jay from TNJ, and welcome back to the Indianapolis Aeros franchise. The Aeros lead the wild card round 1-0 after a pretty good rout of the Boston Red Sox in game number 1, where we saw Joey Meneses go deep twice, and he led us to a victory in game 1, where we are 1 win away from the ALDS bid versus the Tampa Bay Rays. The Red Sox had our number in the regular season, but so far here in the postseason, we have taken advantage of a very weak bullpen. And that was the strategy going into the series as a whole, taking advantage, getting through that starting rotation of the Red Sox and getting to that bullpen, and we really took advantage in game number 1. So in game 2, we will put on the mound Jose Urquidy, who had 31 starts in the regular season, was very, very good. He was an all-star along with Jordan Montgomery and Archie Bradley. We had 3 all-stars this season, and we will face Max Fried, who had an up-and-down season. He ended up being 9-9, a decent ERA, a average whip. We'll see if we can take advantage today. So game 2 is underway. Brendan Rodgers leads it off with a deep fly ball into center field. But there is Pat Washington, who's been playing in center field. He is excellent defensively, a big reason why we have him there. Another big reason we have him there is because this lineup is stacked. Trayce Thompson, Juan Soto come up next, followed by Devers, Jock Peterson, Willy Adames, Tristan Casas, Tyler O'Neill, and Jorge Alfaro behind the plate. Trayce Thompson comes up now, and he checks his swing, and that one is ruled a strike 3. As that will bring up Juan Soto, who signed a big free agent contract with the Red Sox in the offseason. Fly ball to left field, Oijo Taikon playing in left. And that one will be the 3rd out of the inning. We get them to go down 1-2-3. Ray Gonzalez, the kid, the 20-year-old shortstop, leads off this game as he grounds out to Willy Adames playing shortstop to shortstop for the first out of the inning. That brings up Joey Meneses coming off a 2-home-run game. He hits this one well to right field, and that one will be run down in deep right field by Trayce Thompson, as that brings up Alex Verdugo, the former right fielder for the Red Sox. He hits one to right, and Thompson under that one, 1-2-3 for both squads here through the first inning. Rafael Devers at the plate, hitting in that 4 spot. This is a slow roller to Ian Happ playing second, flipped on to first for the first out of the second inning. As that eventually brings up Willy Adames with 2 outs. Fly ball to center field, but Pat Washington had a beat on that right away, and he runs under that one for the 3rd out of the inning in the second 1-2-3 inning of this game. Paulo Reyes, who got us going in game number 1 with a single to right field. He hits this one to left. That one will be run down by Soto, as Soto has had another great season here in the majors, hitting over 290 this season. But Ian Happ comes up, ground ball to second. That ends the inning as well. So nothing doing for both teams so far. Tristan Casas comes to the plate now, hits one down the 3rd baseline. That one gets through for the first hit of the evening. As now they have a runner aboard here with no outs. Jose Urquidy hasn't allowed a base runner yet. We'll see if he can get through this one as it brings up the speedster, Tyler O'Neill in center field. He swings and misses at a low and inside cut fastball for his 3rd strikeout of the game. Jorge Alfaro, who's been very good versus this Aeros pitching staff so far this series, he walks. As that brings up Brendan Rodgers here, 3-2 pitch. It's a slow ground ball to Cam Collier, over to Ian Happ, over to first, and it's a double play. So we get out of that inning after the good defensive play by Collier. He has a strong arm at 3rd, gets it over to Happ, who throws an excellent ball over to first, and we turn 2. So Oijo up for the bottom of the 3rd inning. The Aeros have yet to register a hit, and Oijo Taikon changes that one with the single up the middle, and it will get a base runner going here in the 3rd inning. Oijo Taikon has a really good speed at first base, which is why he is very good defensively as well, but he doesn't really steal bases that often. That brings up Pat Washington to the plate, who has yet to register a hit so far in the playoffs. That's a blooper to center field, but it's going to be caught by Tyler O'Neill, who has excellent speed in the outfield. Ray Gonzalez up with 2 outs here as he hits one down the left field line. That one is going to be over the third baseman's head. It gets all the way to the wall. Juan Soto runs it down, throws it to the cutoff man, but Oijo Taikon with great speed goes all the way around to score, and it's 1-0. The kid, Ray Gonzalez, comes through, our first ever draft pick of this entire series, and he makes it 1-0. That brings up Meneses, and he will swing and miss at an outside curveball. And that gets him off balance, but it's 1-0 Arrows here. Bottom four now. Alex Verdugo with a single up the middle. That one was smashed. And we start the fourth inning out with a base runner here. As that brings up the middle of our order, Salvador Perez, Paulo Reyes. You definitely don't want to face these guys, followed by Ian Happ. And that's going to be ball four on Perez as well. So now we have guys on first and second. No outs as that brings up Paulo Reyes. Reyes hit a career high this year in average, 290. As his home runs did dip, but the average went up. So now he faces a 2-2 count here, up and in. And Reyes makes Max Fried pay with a big bomb, 4-0 Arrows. 418 to right field, 109 off of the bat. That was crushed. It's tough when you face a guy as big as Paulo Reyes and you make a mistake leaving the ball up in the zone. Reyes is going to make you pay more often than not. Reyes has been maybe the lone bright star that came from our minor league system at the start of the series, and he's been the only one that's really stayed up at the MLB level, and he makes it 4-0. Ian Happ to the plate now. He will ground out to Willy Adames, but still, we have the 4-run cushion now as that brings up Cam Collier. 2 outs. He gets an outside pitch. Fly ball in the infield, but a very good inning here for the Arrows in the fourth. We put 3 on the board, and we make it 4-0. As that's Reyes, who is the former AL Rookie of the Year as well in 2024, which was season 2 here in this series. As Jose Urquidy continuing to pitch well. He's got 6 strikeouts up to this point. That's going to bring up Adames. Ground ball to second. Nobody's getting good wood on him except for that hit by Tristan Cases. As Cases comes back to the plate now here in the top of the 5th with 2 outs. And he will go down swinging. Strike 3. Urquidy is pitching quite well through 5 innings. And our offense is definitely there as well. We put up 4 runs. We'll see what we can do here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pat Washington to the plate now. He will watch that one inside and low. Ball 4. As now that continues this inning here is Max Fried will be pulled. So Max Fried makes it through almost 5 innings. He made it through 4 exactly. But he gets to the bottom of the 5th, and the manager has seen enough. They go to Jaime Barria out of the bullpen, who was rocked in game 1. I'm surprised they're going back to them. But one thing I noted that this bullpen isn't very deep. That brings up Ray Gonzalez, and Pat Washington will swipe second. So now we have a runner in scoring position. Ray Gonzalez with a good opportunity to drive in another run here. 3-1 count here. He's 1 for 2 as he gets an inside pitch. A little bit late on that one. Fly ball to right field, and it will hold the runner up at second. So now the middle of our order is coming up 1, 2, 3 as that brings up Verdugo as the runner moves over to third base. Verdugo with an opportunity here. A hard shot to short, but it will be just a line out to Adames, and no runners will come across that inning. So Barria gets out of that inning as that brings up Jorge Alfaro in the top of the 6th inning with 1 out. Urquidy walks him. 94th pitch on the way. Brendan Rodgers hits this one to right field. And now they have men on first and second with 1 out. We're going to leave Urquidy in to see if he can pitch out of this. He's been pitching really, really well and been getting out of jams. So hopefully he can get out of this one. Facing Trace Thompson to the plate. 0 for 2. He will get an outside curveball, and he goes with it to opposite field. That gets to the gap. It gets to the wall. It will score 2. Trace Thompson will try to leg out 3. The throw will not be in time. So a bases clearing triple here for Thompson, and Boston is on the board for the first time today. And they make it a 4-2 ball game. Jose Urquidy has pitched pretty well so far, but up to this point he has not given up any runs. But now at 99 pitches, I think it's time we go to the bullpen and we will bring in one of our best relievers in the regular season and probably one of the best relievers in this series so far, Reynaldo Lopez, who we've had for the past 2 seasons now. We'll see if he can get us out of this jam. Facing Juan Soto. Soto has a curveball over the middle. He swings and whiffs at that one. And now it's a 1-2 count with 1 out. Man on third base, and Soto cannot keep up with that 97-mile-an-hour heater low in the zone. And that brings up Devers here. 3-2 pitch in the dirt, and that will be ball 4. So now Boston has runners on the corners with one of the most clutch players in the postseason in recent years, Jock Peterson, to the plate, but he just hits a ground ball to second. We get out of this inning. Reynaldo Lopez does an excellent job of holding the runner at third. And now the Red Sox are within 2 runs, though, so let's see if we can add some insurance to this lead. That brings up Salvador Perez to the plate. 0 for 1 today. He gets one up in the zone. This is just a high fly ball down the right field line, but the shift is on, and that causes the right fielder, Trace Thompson, to be way late to that one, and it drops. That was a routine fly ball, but because of the shift, Perez will get to second. That brings up Paulo Reyes, who went deep earlier. He does his job here. He moves the runner over to third base, especially with Perez having such terrible speed. That one's kind of like a bunt. So that brings up one of our most clutch hitters in this series so far, Ian Happ. He's 0 for 2 today. He gets one low and goes with it down the left field line. That one will score. Perez from third, Ian Happ on to second. And it's an RBI double here for Ian Happ, who is going into a free agent season. This is the last year on his contract. You got to think that the Arrows are going to prioritize him, but he makes it 5-2-2. So that brings up Cam Collier here with 2 outs, still in the 6th inning. 3-2 pitch. We'll see if he can hit this one. Well, but he is in front of that pitch. 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Strike 3 swinging. Top 7 now. Willie Adames at the plate, and he will go down looking. Reynaldo Lopez gets a backwards K on that one. Tristan Casas back at the plate. 3-2 pitch. Inside circle change, and it's a called strike 3. Casas doesn't agree, but that one looked like it was in the zone. It brings up Tyler O'Neill, who has not had an impact today. Another strikeout. He strikes out the side here in the 7th inning, and Lopez doing his job out of the bullpen as he continues here in the 8th. Brendan Rodgers, the top of the order, back at the plate. Oh, that one looked like it was in the zone. I disagree with that one, but it will be ball 4. But I think Lopez has pitched a little bit more than what he's used to. He pitched 2 full innings, 2 1/3 to be exact. But we will go to the bullpen and bring in Carl Edwards, who pitched in game 1. He pitched a whole inning, and he struck out 2, getting us through an inning late in that game. So we'll see if he can do it again. 3-2 pitch on for Trace Thompson, who hits one well to left center field. But this defense is too good here in the outfield. We get to that one. Anybody else in left that probably could have dropped. We'll see what happens as Juan Soto comes to the plate with 2 outs. He hits one well to right field, back at the wall, and it knocks off of the top of the wall. It saves a home run, but the throw home will not be in time. It's a 5-3 ball game. Juan Soto, we knew he would make an impact at some point, and he comes through with an RBI. It's back within 2 runs. Devers at the plate, though, and Carl Edwards gets the fastball by him. And now we move on to the 8th inning here in this wild card game number 2 as they bring in Gregory Soto, who is another one of those guys that appeared in game number 1. They don't have much depth here in the bullpen as he faces Ojo Taikon with 2 outs, and he will walk him. Remember, Taikon has decent speed at first. That brings up Cam Collier, who hits one down the third base line. This one is going to get almost to the warning track, but look at Ojo. He's rounding third, headed home. The play at the plate will not be in time. Cam Collier comes through for a late insurance RBI double, and Ojo scores another crucial run. How about the role that he's playing in this game? He had the first hit of the game, and now he scores 2 runs here in this wild card game as that brings up Pat Washington, who has still not gotten a hit. He goes with this one, but is right to Trace Thompson in right field. And now we move on to the 9th inning. We bring in the delivery man of the year in Archie Bradley, who has pitched excellently. And once again, he's going to be a free agent. We keep giving him these one-year deals, but how can we let him go when he's pitching so well? So he faces Jock Peterson first to start out the 9th inning. Ground ball to Paolo. He fields it cleanly and steps on the bag for the first out of this inning. 2 outs away from the ALDS. Willie Adames to the plate. Ground ball to Ian Happ. It's fielded cleanly and on to first. And now we are 1 out away from a wild card victory here. And that brings up Tristan Casas, who hit over 328 home runs, over 900 OPS. Man, he had a good season here for the Red Sox. And now 3-2 pitch here from Archie Bradley. And he goes around. 1, 2, 3. Archie Bradley shuts it down. And he will send the arrows to the ALDS. We will face the Tampa Bay Rays after a clean sweep of the Red Sox. We win 2-0. It's an excellent day here in Indianapolis. Man, I got to give it up to this offense. We have just shown up these last couple of games. And actually in situations where we needed certain hits, we got them. Like with the guy on first base twice. That was Ojo Taikan, who scored twice from first base. I mean, both times hits down the third base line, just deep enough to get Ojo across the plate. How about the game that we saw from Paulo Reyes again? I mean, he's been on fire lately. So is Salvador Perez, to be honest with you. All of these guys are just swinging hot bats, and that's the right thing to do going into this AL East matchup once again versus the Rays, who had 94 wins in the regular season. So we will face our second straight AL East opponent here in this playoff. But the Rays are a different beast. They have no holes. I mean, they have a starting rotation of McClanahan, Rasmussen, Taj Bradley, Zach Eflin, Brendan McKay. I mean, they have so many guys. Their bullpen is also pretty good. I mean, this is pretty much a no-holes bullpen. They also have a pretty decent closing pitcher in Jason Adam. But then let's just look at the rest of their team. They have William Contreras behind the plate. I have no idea how they acquired him, but they traded for him from the Brewers. They have Brandon Lowe, and they also have his little brother as well. But they also have Luis Arias. So they have Arias, and Arias is signed for the next 2 years. I mean, they have a lot of guys ready to put them over the top for a championship. And then they have also Luis Urias. So they have Luis Arias and Luis Urias in their infield. And then they also have Wander Franco. Of course, they have not let him go to him. They also have Arozarena. But then in the offseason, they signed Brian Reynolds to a big free agent contract, and he is going to be there for the next 5 or so years. But what a squad this is. We're going to be facing a very different beast than what we saw in the Red Sox, even though the Red Sox were pretty great offensively as well. They just couldn't get it done with that bullpen of theirs, and I think that was their downfall. So we'll see if we can replicate this success in a 5-game ALDS versus the Rays. Hit subscribe, hit that like button, stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go. I like getting money, I got time to get it. Target on me, so my car's a tinny. Dancing with the devil, I don't bargain with it. Bobbing in the dash, and the stick is with it. And I hit the 4-5 on the west side. But I'm from the east side, this how we slide. This how we ride, yeah, this how we ride.